Hello, in this video I'm going to show very quickly some of my tips for OneNote that have worked very well for me from the previous lockdown and are actually working really well again. This is I'm assuming that you're using OneNote and you've already creating OneNote, and I'm going to tell you just basically how I structure my OneNote book for my students and a little bit how I create and link work in there with some of my tricks or tips basically. First thing I'm going to show you is basically how I do the content library. Remember, the content library is the area that you can actually it's basically that everybody has access to, and anything in the content library the kids can just go and copy into their area. It's basically a library. So this is how I do it. I create a tab or a section, what is called in OneNote, for every topic. So these are all my lessons for every different topic. I started in the old lockdown to have one tab for lessons, and they became really messy. So now I've definitely created ones for topics. So I think that would be quite good because the kids can come here and they can go from the 1st of September to the 9th of November. Okay, they can have everything in there. Then a school topic, which is what we're working at the moment, and the free time topic, which is what we're gonna be doing next. This is my year GCC, but my year 10 OneNote. Another thing that I also have a section for booklets. So we do have another booklet in the department, and basically what I have here is the GC is a note from Word with all the booklet, which I think could be quite good. And there's another one in year 11, so they can go very quickly and have a look here, or straight away open it in Word document. We also have a translation practice in here as well. We also have a section for oral questions. So what I tend to do is that as we go through the topics, I basically give them like sample questions that could come up in the exam, and if they want to, they answer them here, so I can review them. And then they obviously, as the topics go by, they end up with a bank of questions that they can then try to revise for the general conversation. At the moment, we're doing holidays and free and school. Okay, and obviously I tend to do this at the end of the topic. There's also a grammar section. So in here, what I have inserted is an overview of all the tenses, of all the tenses that they need to know for the exam, and irregular verbs, and then in more detailed, the present tense in Spanish, the past tense in Spanish, the imperfect tense, and we also have another one for the future, or the future things there. Okay, so that's another bit of grammar section. Do have another element for subscriptions. So they've got our Quizlet. All our sentence builders are linked to Quizlets. These are my Quizlets, but also the Quizlets for AQA. Language gym thing. This is language, and direct links to Language Nut. Another tab I have is sentence builders, and we have it like this. So we do have one for we're making them up as we building them up as we teach the lessons. So when they go to the holidays, where they can go is they got all the sentence builders to do with topic, and a Quizlet direct link into it. So that's another one, Quizlet. Another one about the best for the holiday, another one about the worst thing about the holiday. Holidays, as you can see, is a big topic. There's a lot of vocabulary. There's another one for school, and we add to it, these could have been individual pages, but I try to avoid to have many pages. So they just, because one notebook is infinite, they got basically everything in there, and they got all the Quizlet links. There is a OneNote tutorial that I created last year, and I still keep there for the students, basically to have a look on how to use and best utilize OneNote. It's taking some time because it's a string. This is quite important as well. We do have the GCC course overview. So they start ticking, and I go and tick. It's like, we've done this, we've done that, all the things we've been doing. There is an element as well of enrichment activities. So if any of the students finish anything, well, they got an area here. So they got an immersion challenge, something for la cuarentena, cooking tapas, learning Spanish with songs, extra soap. This is the extra ones that famous, and if they come here, they can go to our Firefly to have a look, and basically much more in there. We do have another area for high impact expressions, to have one called golden expressions, and another one for how to get a 7 and a 9 in the exam, and some of the expressions they could actually use. Okay, so that's actually quite good. And the writing mark scheme, which I think is very important, where basically I tend to copy and paste this when we do writing, and I mark it for them. This is basically how it works, and then I'm going to show you a little bit some metrics on what I do here. One of the things I do is that when I create in the lessons, when I create the work, I always create it by week. Okay, as you can see here a week commenting the 18th of January. That really saves me time, and because I started creating lesson by lesson, and it was a little bit messy, and I was just preparing lessons all the time. And sometimes when you prepare lessons, it's actually better to, I think, when you are in the mood, to have lessons that go from one to another one for a whole week, so you got a continuum. That's what it works for me. I also have a template. As you can see, all my lessons start exactly the same, with my little area, you know, my lesson virtual classroom. Sorry, I created this with Canva, and it's just a photograph, a banner that I just copy and paste, as you can see there. Okay, and actually I can make it set as background, so it wouldn't move then. So this is what I tend to do. So this is the thing I always tell at the beginning what we do, and then we carry on doing lesson 1. I think we should be doing up to here. Lesson 2 would be up to there. Okay, this should be moving down here, and lesson 3, this is what we're going to be doing. That's one of the things I always do. The next thing I would recommend to do is when I create any work, I always create boxes for them to write. When I first started, I used to give them do the video, do the activities on the right, and it was really messy. So, for example, if they need to do a video, I give them instructions. But what I do is that by the side, I write the exercises they need to do or activities, and I create boxes for them to answer. Normally, there are things like repeat after me, there are things like dictations, and I just create a frame for them to enter the questions, and this works really well. To do that, you just go to Insert, go Table, and you can create a table from here. Okay, so if I want to say something in here, for example, I would just put the cursor there, come to the table, I create this. As you can see, you got your table there. Once you got your table, you can go right click, and you can actually have a little bit of of color. I think it looks quite nice. What I would suggest is that because you got different, once you do 2 or 3 tables, I just copy and paste them from pages. I think that saves me a lot of time as well. And I number them so the kids can do the different exercises. Another trick I think that works quite well with my students is this area, the tags. If you notice, every time they need to do something, so first you watch the video and there's a tag, and I just add it. Then they do Quizlet, they do it. Lesson 2, do this orally, and then there's another tag. So what the kids do is that basically they just go there, they just stick it. So I think that works quite well as well with the kids. You can also create it in here in the little mini activities to do with the big activity. That is in here, okay, in the tags this note, and you got a lot of different tags that you can choose from. Okay, so the one I'm doing is what to do is a list, but you can tag things with important, or it's a question, or it's a video lesson, like I did here, for example, etc. So that's really good. As you can see, in OneNote you can embed things. So Genially embeds, YouTube embeds. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm teaching a bit of hybrid lessons. So I do some lessons that are actually video lessons like this one, and actually just put this stuff here. I go onto Teams. I talk to the kids. We do an activity all together. Normally we do an activity probably with a Sparrow at the moment, and after that they just come here and they work on their own. I'm there in the background if they need me, and then I can see live how they're getting on, and you can see if no one is writing, so I can actually say what's going on, or give feedback, or I answer any doubts or questions. But the kids listen to it, listen to the thing, to the video, and keep doing the activities. So that's one of the things I've been doing. As you can see, there also I put a lot of links to Quizlet, for example. This was 2 videos, which is a little bit unusual. And another thing is that you can actually in YouTube, in OneNote, you can actually as well embed Geniali. So this is actually a Geniali game that the kids will have to do the 18th of January, where they're going to breakout rooms. And what is going to happen is that when you get there, the kids need to work in groups of 4. So I'm going to put them in, actually I don't want them, sorry, I don't want them then. I don't want them, I want them here. And one of the, I'm going to put them in groups of 4. The kids will have to, will be in breakout rooms. One of the kids in breakout rooms will share this screen and can go actually big if they want to. As you saw, you click on here, it will take you to the big screen, and they will be able to be moving the little counters, okay, and answering. Every time they come here, there will be something coming up, which could be basically a question, or sometimes it says to do a click on me. If they do a click on me, this is linked to Quizlet, okay, and it should come up in a minute. It's not coming up now, there. I think it's because it needs to be nice and big, but the idea is they come to me to my big question, and there should be now a flashcard here to do with the topic of school, and and they need to translate it or to say a sentence with it. So that's a really nice way to incorporate oral activities. Another trick would be my using Bitmojis. The kids love the Bitmojis, and what I do is that I've created in the section, the teacher only section here. Okay, there's an area here where I just got a lot of the ones I use the most. Okay, so I can come here and I just copy them. If I'm doing writing, if I'm doing something, copy and paste it wherever I want to. So I'm using that all the time to give merit or have an alpha. So that is something that works really, really well. Another thing I would say to you, another my tricks is going to be as well. Let me see if I can find it, is when you insert documents. Okay, you go to insert, you go to file, and you can find your document. But when you find your document, say you want to insert that one, it gives you the option, okay, of attachment or insert printout. If it's not a huge document with a lot of pages, which normally then I would put as an attachment, I insert as printout, okay? If it's a printout, it will look like this. And then once you got your printout, you double click, you can set that as a background. And I think this is very important because at the moment you set it as a background, you can write on it. So in this instance, if a child has got now a digital pen, some of them have, they just can write on it straight away, okay, as you can see, or you just can write and type here. So that only would work if it is basically you set up your Word document as a background. I think that's a really nice trick because you're making a really normal worksheet, you're making it interactive. So that works really well just by saying print out and set as a background. My other really big tip as well would be the snipping tool. With the snipping tool, you can go anywhere in the web. Or for example, this is one snipping tool I had before, which is from a Word document. You can take an area, you can select it, and you can paste it, your OneNote, into a picture. I think that's really good. That works if I show you an example, quite nice as well. For example, in here, this is my writing task. This is a piece of Word document. So instead of the whole Word document that looked a little bit empty, I only needed a piece. So I opened that in Word, a snipping tool, and I created that. This is really good as well for readings, because if you're doing a reading activity and you put it as a picture in there, it means the kids cannot just copy it and paste it into Google Translate. Well, they can, but it's much harder. So I think that's a really nice trick as well. And finally, what I need to talk is about the wonderful feature as well of audio insert. When I give feedback, what I tend to do as well is give them, I use my Bitmojis, I can give them just oral feedback straight away. So what I can do is come here, insert audio, and it will start, as you can see, recording my audio. Okay, I can stop, and that could be my feedback to the child. So that's actually really very, very, very effective and very, very, very quick. What I love about that as well is I can record myself. Like here, I create questions. This is a photo card. The photo card, again, using the snipping tool, I just put the photograph in here. They can write the answers for questions 1 to 3 because they are allowed to. And then this is me talking 5 questions, three questions they've written about and 2 extra ones. The kids then listen to my question and they record their answer. And I think this is really cool. Then I can actually listen to it. So that's actually quite good as well. When it comes as well to reviewing work, any of this before that, to distribute work, remember you go to class notebook, and if you want all this in the students area, you just go to distribute page. Say, please don't go to in the group distribution, just go distribute page. You will distribute it to everyone, and you just need to decide in which section you want to. So for example, because this is a lesson, Colegio Mis Estudios, that would go in that one. Basically, this is the children's sections, and as you can see, pretty much it mirrors my content library. So they go there, an area where they can actually write on it, and just put it in the section that you want to, and you just press distribute. So every child will have it there. If you made a mistake, and sometimes I write something and then I realize, well, actually, I shouldn't have distributed that page. That's no problem. You just go to distribute page, but go to delete page. So yeah, go to delete page, then find where was the page that you want to delete. It will show you now all the pages that you got, and you just click the one that you want to delete. It will delete it for everybody, so that would save a lot of work. So you don't need to delete page by page till you got 30 students or 25 students, or you can distribute. When it comes to do work, I would go to review work. A good way is class notebook, go to review student, and I'm not going to press it in here because I don't want you to see my students' names, but you will come here, you will see which area the work is. So you always need to tell them where you want in which area you want the work in, otherwise this wouldn't work. So if you, for example, it's in lessons, school My Studies, you go to that area, click on it, you will see your students area, and then you can write on it, and you're allowed to lock the page, which is very important, which means everything that you write or that you type will be locked, and the students won't be able to get rid of it. They don't like the comments, for example. And finally, when you're doing revision, or when you're doing review of the work, why don't you use, for example, insert, okay, stickers? They do have the option of the stickers. Now the stickers, as you saw, I use a lot of my own Bitmoji, but another thing that you can use, you got several ones here that you can look for. Can you see these ones? In this one, for example, if you want that one, you can actually manipulate this and make it very simple, very, very customized for you. So you can write a message in Spanish. You can actually write a whole paragraph saying to the child, this is really good, but you need to improve the verbs, for example. You need to improve your verbs in the past tense. Okay, otherwise, a great piece of writing. So say that you want that, you want it done. What it does, it creates this for you. So this is fantastic when you are reviewing work for the students, and you can make nice and big. I mean, you don't like, this is just an example, but you can have different ones, for example, like little bubbles things. And what you can have is you can have your own Bitmoji, and you put this by the side as if the Bitmoji is talking. So I think that's quite cute as well. So basically, these are all my different tips. It was very, very quick, just in 20 minutes, but this is the things basically that have been working really for me, and that made my life really, really easy, or as easy as it could be in the situation that we are in. So thank you very much for listening.